When formed our band, we are well manned to journey afar to the promised land. The golden ore is rich in store on the banks of the Sacramento shore. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. As oft we roam where the dark seas foam, we'll never forget kind friends at home. But memory kind still brings to mind the love of friends we left behind. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. We'll expect our share of the coarsest fare and sometimes sleep in the open air. On the cold, damp ground we'll all sleep sound except when the wolves go howling around. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. As we explore to the distant shore, filling our pockets with a shining ore, how it will sound as the shout goes round, filling our pockets with a dozen pounds. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. The gold is there most anywhere, we dig it out rich with an iron bar, but where it is thick with spade or pick, we take out chunks as big as a brick. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Then ho, boys, ho, for California, oh. There's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento.
Congratulations! You didn't have to eat any along the way. Avoiding your 2,000-mile journey to Sutter's Fort by wagon seemed like it only took 30 minutes. Yesterday, there was a traveling salesman coming through Sutter's Fort. He was in an old clunky wagon. Not a nice wagon like you're in right now, but an old clunky one. He was selling all types of random supplies. That's how I got this nice hat. He was also selling these things called magic boxes. Magic boxes just like these. And he said that with these magic boxes, you can take a picture. That doesn't seem to be about right. You need a pencil and paper to draw a picture. This is 1846 after all. There must be something people throwing away in order for this to work. Do you think these will work today, pioneers? No, I don't think they'll work today, especially after I just dropped it. But the citizens of New Elevation here spent 2 years' salary on these magic boxes, and they asked if they could use them real quick. So everybody stay seated. If you're on the side of the wagon closest to me, lean on out so we can see you. Boys, tilt your hats up so we can see your faces. Ladies, tilt your bonnets up. Let's see if those magic boxes work. All right, switch sides of the wagon. Switch sides. Pioneers, switch sides of the wagon. Switch sides real quick. Switch sides.
Sit on your bottoms, guys. Guys, sit on your bottoms.
Reese, get in there.
Is that, do you think so?
Reese,
How will
Reese, look at me. So I can't see your face.
Down, Ryan.
Whatever your name is today.
just like throw out the horse?
Luca just didn't have his back. He's like, I don't even have my phone. Get it! I totally forgot. I have a passport. Do you need this, sir?
Oh, we're over here.
I hear you have a morning speech to give to our pioneers. Take it away, Captain.
Hello, welcome to my fort. My name is Sutter. I know that you have traveled a far distance from your home to come to the great land of California. Many of you are sick and starving. At this fort, we will give you what you need for you to be healthy. I hope you enjoy my hospitality at my fort.
Thank you, Captain Sutter. Pioneers, are you excited today?
Yeah!
What station are you most excited for? Shout it out.
Baking!
That was a lot of baking. So bakery, the pressure's on. Okay.
The store place.
Now my name. Now I'm excited for dinner tonight. I hear the kitchen crew is making mule head stew for dinner. Now my name is Jared and I'll be with you all day today. Right over there's Ironhead. Everybody wave hi to Ironhead. Now, are there some people here we might want to thank? Let's give a big round of applause to the citizens of New Helvetia, your parents, for their hard work setting up the fort. And let's give an even bigger round of applause to your teacher for all her hard work getting you guys here. Now we're going to send some very important information along to Monterey. Monterey is the capital of Mexican California. We're going to send along that you have just arrived. Best way to do that is to get a group drawing of all you guys here on the stairs of the central building using one of those magic boxes.
Today, we actually got something called tortilla from the Spanish, the Mexicans. And we're gonna make something to wrap in the tortilla, and I think they call it a burrito. And they have some fancy rice in it, and beans, and cheese, and chicken, of course. So what are we gonna do first? Rice. Rice takes a longer time to cook. Right? So, can one of you please open that can. You can just pop that. And one of you go to you know how to do that?
What?
Yeah. All the way in. And you. Okay, do it.
That?
Yes. And in order for it to pour nice and smooth, you actually have to open it on the other side also.
You're gonna keep it
You need to move that out there.
Okay?
Just don't touch the
More chicken, you can scoop it on over. Yes.
I don't like what the burritos I don't like are just beans.
The hardest part is the kitchen.
I like chicken burritos.
Let's see how it's done on the backwards. Those are so heavy
No, I like
hot.
the chicken burrito.
And
Like
it's
bean and
beans.
no, but bean cheese and chicken I like. No, bean cheese. No, bean cheese or chicken.
I don't know.
rice.
They want to know what the hardest hard job would be in the kitchen.
Jay Christmas, he hasn't done it.
I told him your job. That right there.
Yeah,
That's the
this is the
hardest job.
hardest part because it's hot.
No, it's not. There. Hopefully this one's mine. It smells so good. This is how we can make this at home. Yeah. Like, actually, this is like... I make most of my dinner. Oh, my mom cooks, but I make like...
Now they're working on
Jesse,
the
I cook. Where do you want to put it when it's done? On that table. Okay. I think we need some more killos.
So we're talking about, they want only about 10 without beans, so
Okay,
continue with the.
so here's 1, 2, 3, 4 without beans so far.
Thank you.
Pieces over here, put them in the middle to where they burn down, then spread it out. So what you want to do is kind of move, burn and spread.
How big am I gonna cut it? Just as big as the knife tells you to.
The knife tells you how big you need to cut it.
Oh, so like right
He's
here.
at it, yeah, exactly. It's not soft, soft like a piece of wood. There you are.
Now do I cut? Do I cut this back part off?
Yeah, cut it, just keep cutting it.
Yeah, like sure, there's no back.
Yeah, what bad part? Hey.
If you're hungry enough, it's a good
Okay,
part.
are your hands wet? I mean clean?
Yes.
Okay, Reese, you're gonna come over here. And will you layer our cinnamon rolls along this thing? What do you think? Do you think we need more cinnamon?
More
You got-
cinnamon.
Doesn't he have to taste
You
it?
On that
you
one.
got that nice and creamy, didn't you?
Can I taste it?
Okay, dip your fingers in there, and then you guys have to wash them. Go wash them.
No,
How is it
How
good?
is
Okay, go wash
Oh,
your
that
hands.
was
Go
cute.
wash your more cinnamon.
yeah, Kyle's like,
What do you think, Kyle?
A little bit more.
Like he's
Good on
thinking
cinnamon.
like,
A little bit more. Okay.
I think it's good on cinnamon.
Oh, nice.
Okay, this thing might be easier if you want to, Kyle. Do you
yeah,
want
and
to just
then spread it.
The bigger the
just like
better.
that and just do a swirl?
Yeah, and we
A
hold that.
dollop and a swirl.
Yeah, there you are.
Dollop and a swirl.
Now, we gotta leave some for the girls, right?
No, we don't.
it's okay, Bob, let me.
And she's ready for you guys to go and do butter. Would you like to do butter, you guys? One at a time.
I'll go first.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Oh. It's definitely not too. I'm going around.
Use the back side.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing it. You're supposed to do it. I was just showing you.
Ooh.
All right, let's come a little ladies in here.
Yes, we're ready.
All right, I'll take one of you ladies in, and then when
General Castro, we're honored to have you here churning butter with us today.
My name is Grace.
Okay, so we want to put lots of air into the cream. We're going to beat the cream until it turns into whipped cream, and then we keep beating it past that.
But whipped
So,
cream is better than butter. I think.
well, you can, and they have different uses.
Does it taste good?
So, up and down, we want to get the air in it, and don't hit the bottom because we don't want to break the bottom out of the churn. Okay, there you go. Yep. Go ahead, grab on. Because once we start, we have to keep going. We don't want to stop.
We better go fast and slow.
It's good to have energy. At this point, we want to get it done. The more energy you add, the faster it's going to
Okay.
turn.
So, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be teaching you how the vaquero, which is the Spanish word for cowboy, would be able to lasso, rope, and direct one of their cattle. And this is one of the most important jobs in the fort because this was John Sutter's most profitable business and made them the most money. So it was important to have vaqueros around.
Okay.
And this rope, this isn't the rope they would traditionally use. The traditional rope would look a little bit more like the band around this hat right here. They would call it a rayada. And it was made out of strips of leather, hide, cowhide. And it was stretched real thin and it was braided together. But we don't have one of those, we have one of these. So a little closer. There you go. And pull tight. You got yourself control of the steer. Anyone else next time?
Anybody else? I do.
You got it.
I can't get bottled water. Hey, it's my turn. Hello? Back off.
Oh my goodness. You too.
Oh, careful. Don't pull on the other hand too hard, because then the lasso will okay.
The bar just in there.
All right.
You're going to be walking that way. So walk this way just a little bit. You're going to bring it down.
Oh yeah, then you start like twisting it and winding up the rope.
Okay, start cranking.
Start walking towards the metal. When you get to this foot, you're going to stop walking when you get to here, okay? Keep coming. Keep cranking. Okay, stop. Everybody stop. Now you paddle out.
That was fast.
Okay. Now crank it the opposite direction. The opposite, yeah. Keep going. Alright, that's good.
Why do you crank it the opposite direction?
It tightens it up.
Stop.
Please stop.
Wagon back.
Okay, so this is the next one. So what we're gonna do, we're not gonna hit it. Perfect.
Laundry helper. That's what we want. Let's do this. Let's put this on this side. Now you can both do it. Let's get the water down below.
What do we do when we're done?
Now, did you bring it out as much as you could? And then you're going to grab some pins and hang them up on the clothesline. Did you rinse it out?
Yeah, I'm only 8 and I know how to clean my clothes. These are dominoes.
Dominoes, yeah, that's gonna be the same. You can do $2 on the hanky and the rag. Oh, I'm gonna take some of these out because we don't have enough. Oh, both bags? We do. We can have two of these out. Okay, so all here.
I'm doing this so quick.
And those are the extra pickup sticks.
Don't know what you want done.
How much is the beef jerky? A last cookie, $5 I think.
No. Okay, are we... How much more do you throw bottles?
I understand you all made some really cool looking yarn. You can see the yarn that your fellow students made has been woven in. When you have the two colors, it makes a really neat. But it's going to be beautiful no matter what. So are we using your yarn to finish this row? Okay. So what we're going to do, and we use this just to make a bigger space. It makes it easier.
Yes.
And so we're going to put this through.
We're going to leave this here. It actually makes the space wider for you and easier to get your big,
And
awesome
so what we're
yarn
going
in there.
to do, because you've got your knot here, we're going to leave that out because we're going to cut the knot off. We don't want knots in our blankets.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay? So you can do this.
Get it tight.
And you want it nice and tight. But normally what we do, and look out, your hands, you don't want to have your hands on around the top of this
This is just
loom.
the feet, okay guys? See how she's really pulling that in, really pulling.
Beating it pretty good.
Making it. I want you guys to be watching because you guys are next, okay? All right. So here's what we're going to do. We have
On the side. Is that right?
Why is this like green?
And last week,
thank
Thursday
you. That will help.
really good.
So we have the block up right now, but we're supposed to have the block up because we're finishing.
And it
So I'm going to
requires
put this in, and so we actually, since we're finishing this time, we're going to go the same direction. So you want to make a tail on your shuttle. Yep, just like that. And then this is the part you're going to start putting in. So put it in here.
I must admit,
On the really
adverse
big
weather
part over
conditions
here,
make
this
for
way.
better stories
Yep.
here, although they're pretty miserable all the
Okay,
time.
yep.
Last year,
Through. Okay, let it go a little
we
bit so
had
you have a little bit of give.
a hailstorm.
Put this down for
one of the
yourself
days I
every
was
time
here.
you go.
How do you and then yeah.
You want the lights in between, you pull your bar up and you put it down. And then I'm going to open that up for you like this. Makes it a little easier, yep. Exactly. Perfect. Alright. So glad you guys. Or you can just try to pull the tank up. Yep, just really get it. Yep. You got it. I'll help you with that.
Don't want me sweating when I get in the
how's everybody doing today? Thank you for visiting Sutter's Fort. Before we get started on our cannon demonstration, we are going to learn about the Bear Flag Revolt. Who here's heard of the Bear Flag Revolt before? Pioneers, you should all have your hands up right now.
Yeah.
This was an event that happened in 1846. Historians have called 1846 the year of decision. War had already broken out between the United States and Mexico over Texas, and there was a growing American population here in Mexican California that had started to be an issue. And it didn't help that there was this man here in California. What's your name, sir?
General.
Don't tell me, you gotta tell them.
General Jose Castro.
Real loud, say it again.
General Jose Castro.
General Jose Castro. Mr. Castro, what was your job here in Mexican California?
I was the general of the Mexican cavalry.
Say it again real loud.
I was the general of the Mexican cavalry.
Yes, you were the general of the Mexican cavalry. And you issued something on April 17, 1846. What did you issue?
A proclamation.
Yes, you issued a proclamation stating that all undocumented Americans from Mexican California would be forced to leave by the end of the year if they did not produce citizenship papers. Well, this sparked a fear for all the Americans that were living here at Sutter's Fort in the surrounding area, and it didn't help that Castro here, he had contracted Lieutenant Francisco Arce to round up about 150 horses for the Mexican cavalry to use to drive out the Americans, but Arce couldn't keep these secrets to himself. He ended up telling quite a few individuals at their ranchos north of New Helvetia, and on June 10th, 1846, he had finished visiting the fort, and while he was going to get those horses, there was this man following behind and 9 other men. What's your name, sir?
Ezekiel Merritt.
Ezekiel Merritt. Mr. Merritt, where did you and 9 other men march to capture those horses on June 10th?
Murphy's Ranch.
Murphy's Ranch, where Elk Grove is today. They captured those horses and sent Arce and his men back to Monterey unarmed, and this was seen as the first armed aggression by Americans to the Mexican government. You came back here to Sutter's Fort, told everybody what had happened. You got 20 more men and their families to band together. They joined your group, and you became the leader of what group?
The Bears. The Bears.
Louder than that. He can't hear you all the way over there. Say it again.
The Bears.
The Bears. He became the leader of the Bears, and they took action. They were planning to take over the Mexican army on the northern frontier, and we're going to talk to our next individual here. What's your name, sir?
General Mariano Guadalupe Vallejo.
General Mariano Guadalupe Vallejo. Mr. Vallejo, where did these men who called themselves the Bears march to on June 14th, 1846?
My house. In Sonoma.
Yes, your house in Sonoma, right next door to the barracks. And they took over the barracks, and within an hour, they had conquered the entire Mexican army on the northern frontier, all 11 of them, and proclaimed California an independent nation. This became known to history as the Bear Flag Revolt. And I hear you were taken prisoner somewhere, Mr. Vallejo. Where were you taken to jail?
I was taken to jail in Sutter's Fort.
Yes, right here at Sutter's Fort in the jail in the corner over there. And while they're in Sonoma, many of the Americans, they met on how they were going to create their new nation. And one man, William Todd, and this lady, what's your name, sir?
Nancy Kelsey. Nancy Kelsey.
Nancy Kelsey. They took it upon themselves to create a symbol for what their nation would represent. And what was your role during the Bear Flag Revolt, Mrs. Kelsey?
I helped stitch the bear flag.
Yes, you helped William Todd sew and make the bear flag. And I have the bear flag right here. For everybody to see. Right here is the bear flag. This is the precursor to our state flag today. Mrs. Kelsey put on there a red star to represent the lone republic, just like Texas. And they wrote on their California Republic that this was to be the symbol for their new nation. And they also put on there a ferocious grizzly bear. But Mrs. Kelsey, what did all the Californians think that bear looked like?
A pig.
A pig. They thought it didn't look like a bear at all. Very similar to that right over there on that fire pit. Now there's a story about the red stripe on the bottom of the flag. It was to represent the blood that the bear flaggers would shed for their independence. And we're going to talk to our next two pioneers here. What's your name, sir?
William Bell Elliott. William Bell Elliott.
William Bell Elliott. And your name, miss?
Elizabeth Patton Elliott.
Elizabeth Patton Elliott. We have Mr. and Mrs. Elliott here, folks. We got a married couple. Everybody go, ooh. Now, Mrs. Elliott, where did they get the fabric for the red stripe on the bear flag?
From my husband's underwear.
Yes, from her husband, Uncle Billy Elliott's underwear. He really sacrificed it all for the rebellion there. And we're going to talk to our last two pioneers here. What's your name, miss?
Susan Haskell-Ide.
Susan Haskell-Ide. And your name, sir?
William Brown-Eyed.
William Brown-Eyed. We got another married couple here, folks. Everybody go ooh again. Now, Mr. Ide, what was your role during the Bear Flag Revolt?
I was president of California Republic.
Yes, you are the president of the new republic, which makes you
The first lady.
the first lady. Naturally, Ezekiel Merritt, he was the true leader of the rebellion, but on June 15th, Mr. Ide here, he was the only man in all of Sonoma there during the revolt that could read and write, and he drafted the California Declaration of Independence. Stay in school, kids. But Mr. Ide, how long did you serve as president?
25 days.
For 25 days. From June 14th, 1846 to July 7th, 1846. That is the time of the Bear Flag Revolt and Republic, and that's because on July 7th, the United States Army and Navy under Commodore Sloat sailed into Monterey, raised the United States flag over the Presidio, and that began the Mexican-American War here in California, and that's the story of the Bear Flag Revolt. Let's give our presenters a round of applause. Everybody take a bow. And we're going to show all aspects of the cannon firing today, and this cannon is capable of taking a 4-pound cannonball, hurling it through the air as much as a mile. Do you think we should do that today?
Yeah!
You really think I should put this cannonball in there?
Yeah!
If I put this cannonball in there, it'd blast a hole right through that bastion over there. State Parks only likes to rebuild this place every 120 years. But we are using real black powder. Now here is our black powder charge. It's wrapped in aluminum foil. Did they use aluminum foil in the 1840s?
No!
No, they would have been using a material like linen, like your shirts. But Captain Sutter here, he doesn't like it when burning linen comes flying out of that cannon. Just might set fire to that wood shingle roof over there. But we are using real black powder. Now let me introduce our cannon crew for you today. Working at the muzzle of the cannon, we got your blacksmith biscuits. Let's give them a round of applause. Working at the breech of the cannon, doing pick and prime, we have Ironhead. Doing touch off, we have Grizzly Bill. And I'm Pack Mule, and I'm gun captain and powder monkey. Now normally, we would need to have 9 men for a full cannon crew, and with 9 men, we could fire this cannon about 2 to 3 times a minute. But we don't need to have 9 men to fire this cannon, because our crew has 1 woman on. Let's give Ironhead another big round of applause. Gunners, post! That tells everybody to get to their spots. Now we're going to treat this cannon as if it had just been fired. So my next command will be worm the bore. Biscuits is going to take a corkscrew-like device. He's going to put it down the barrel of the gun, twist it, and he's going to use that to remove any excess debris that might be still in the cannon. But now we have a potentially hot cannon barrel that might have burning embers still in it. We don't want to put gunpowder down a barrel in that condition. It's unsafe. So my next command will be wet swab. The wet swab is a stick with the rag at the end of it. Biscuits will dunk in the bucket of water, run it down the barrel of the gun to extinguish any embers that might be still in the cannon. But now we have a wet cannon barrel. We don't want to put gunpowder in a wet barrel, then it won't go off. The primary tenet of handling black powder is to keep your powder dry. So we call for a dry swab. Now that the cannon barrel is dry and clear, my next command will be present cartridge. I will walk to the front of the cannon. I will present the charged gunpowder to Biscuits the muzzle, and he will ram the charge to the back of the barrel. The next command will be present shot. This is when we would load the cannonball, but we are not doing so today. So disappointing. Next command will be pick and pry. Ironhead will take a brass pick, brass, so that it won't spark like iron or steel might. She will put it down the vent hole. She will puncture the charge at the back of the barrel. Then she will take a fine-grained gunpowder and pour it down the vent. And this will create a fuse of gunpowder to connect the charge at the back of the cannon with our linstock. Grizzly Bill over there holding that green stick, that is called the linstock. At the end of the linstock is a piece of slow match, which is a rope soaked in potassium nitrate, and he will use that to stand a safe distance away while firing off the cannon. So, this cannon is now ready to fire, but we have some people in the fort right now, and we might have some people outside the fort eating lunch or having a siesta that don't know that this cannon's about to go off, and we need to warn them, so I need your help. On the count of 3, I need you all to yell, fire in the hole. That means there's going to be a loud boom, fire in the hole. Then I want you to take your hands and cup them over your ears, because this could be pretty loud. Don't stick your fingers in your ears, cup your hands over your ears like this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole!
Louder than that. Count of 3, fire in the hole. 1, 2, 3.
Fire in the hole!
Good crew, prepare to fire. Clear front, cover your ears. Firewood ready, Grizzly. Secure the piece. Let's give our gun crew a round of applause. Thank you for visiting Sutter Sport. Thank you for supporting California State Park.
So what does the blacksmith make? Look around, there's tons of stuff around here. What do you see?
Chisels.
Gun parts. Gun parts. Write them down. What else? Shout them out. Yes. Be loud. You have to be loud in here. When them hammers start, it's going to be noisy, and these folks out here talking.
Hammers.
I can't hear you. Get them up. Get your voices up.
Hammers.
Yes. Don't repeat the same things. Same new stuff. What do we got? What's this?
Chains.
What are these? Hooks. Hooks. What else?
Chisels.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Chisels.
Chisels.
Chair, come here and ask them. Wait. All right. Go up there. Okay, better stop. Now, what color? Step out there. What's this here? What color should the metal be when I bring it out?
Black.
You guys get all nervous.
Orange. Red.
Well, it goes black, red, and then what? Orange? What's that for?
Black,
after orange?
orange, yellow.
Stop it, yellow. Now, honey, when you get this, all right, over here. You look down, pass it down. That's, we went to white heat and we burned it. Okay, hang on a minute. And look that over. You don't want to go that far.
Do you want me to pass it down?
Yes.
Yes, pass it down.
There it is. We're now going to make a miniature horseshoe. Miniature horseshoe. This demonstrates shaping, tightening it up here, and flattening it out here. Flattening it out right here. And we're going to hold it down. Thank you, honey. We're going to hold it down right here. And we're going to put some nail hole marks on it. We're going to have 4 on each side. Why do we put the hammer over here all the time? Why do we put the hammer over here all the time?
So it won't slip?
Nope.
So it won't hurt you?
In a roundabout way. And what else? How heavy do you think this hammer is?
Oh, very so
I'm resting, yes. I'm resting between getting my punch set up. Very good. All right, man. So we put shoes on a horse to protect their toenails or their hooves, give them traction in the mother snow, and correct the way they run plenty. All right. I need a volunteer.
Me.
To lick this. Don't get it. You want to lick it. You hang on to this with one hand, put the other hand behind your back. Got it? And don't go creeping up any higher. Now you're going to crawl around my arm. Okay, now don't crank yours, fine. Okay, squeeze it. You got it? It's stirring the water. Come on, get this water ready. I got to have this water ready and hot for Saturday night bath. We got a whole week to go yet. Come on. There it goes. Bring it up. Bring it up now. Now I want you to touch it with the other hand, see if it's hot. Oh, this is the famous John Sutter. Oh my gosh. All right, so which side of your other hand are you going to use? Back or the front? What do you think? What do you think? Don't look at them. You're the thinker, man. That's why you're the owner of this place. You're the thinker, man. Which side do you use the most? Yeah. What's this side for? Everybody go like this here. Yep, no, booger's going here, not over here. Okay, put your hand here, have it flat, put it up flat. There's your target right there, okay? Get that up high, see that my foot up, get down real slow. Right there. Not gonna make a noise. Get down real slow. Oh, he jumped pretty good. I see him and he was not bad. Okay, touch it off.
Okay, so I am going to talk about a disease that was here in California in 1847.
Is it still around?
Fortunately, it's still around.
Well, I know that contracted something.
Okay, doctors did not know about germs. Doctors did not know about viruses. How many of you have had a cold? Okay, that's a virus.
All of us should be raised.
Get them like every other week.
Everybody has at least 2 a year usually. How many of you have had that pink medicine that's supposed to taste like bubble gum but doesn't?
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting. Not Pepto-Bismol.
That's it, other.
It's ampicillin or
Oh,
amoxicillin?
I did have some.
Whenever you get ear
that smelled
infections.
like bubblegum.
Whenever you get ear infections.
Okay, so
That pink
it
stuff.
sounds like, okay, so that means that you had a bacterial infection that was treated with an antibiotic. But back in 1840, doctors did not know about germs. They did not know about viruses.
They didn't know what a germ was?
No, they did not.
So that means
They knew about seeds of illness. They knew that if somebody walked over there to Mr. Bidwell's office over there, that you were going to get and had chicken pox, that most of you would have chicken pox in 14 to 16 days. In California in 1840s, you know what happened? Somebody walked into the blanket factory. Have you been to the weaving? Did you do weaving? Okay, did they tell you that the ladies who did most of the weaving for Captain Sutter were Native American women? Indian women? Okay. So what happens is, somebody walked into the fort and they had measles.
What are measles?
Measles is a viral disease that comes, that you have very high fevers, you get rashes, and usually most people get well. But Native American people did not have the ability to fight off measles as well. And many of the women who were in the blanket factory took measles back to their families in their tribes, and people got very, very, very sick. All right. So Dr. Townsend is going to help me. Where is my?
Okay, don't worry about it.
He's got something on the table. What was that?
Oh, that's my leech and some water.
That's my leech. Okay.
Ashley leech?
Okay. Guys, hold on.
Where are my musket balls? Okay.
Was that your blood? Was that actually?
Well, doctors did not wash their hands. Doctors did not change their clothes back in the 1840s.
So you're talking about it's actually blood?
That's real blood.
It is pink. It looks like blood. Okay, so, sir, would you hold his hand?
I will. No. Can we hold this?
Hold his hands.
Yeah, I want to get some of that water.
I'm about to die now. I'm gonna die. I'm ready to die now.
Dr. Townsend did something that he wouldn't have done back in the 1840s,
Wash his hands.
and he washed his hands.
That's
So the first thing we're going to do is, Dr. Townsend, you're going to direct me on how to take out a bullet. So you stand right here, and you say, first, you're going to hold a probe, and you're going to probe down until you find, this is, right there is where the bullet went in. So you put the probe right there. Okay, and then you say to me, I'm going to probe down until I find the bullet.
Probe down until I find the bullet.
Okay. And so I'm going to make a little hole because I'm going to use a little, you're falling asleep, sir. And we're going to open this up a little bit bigger because when I use this, I have to make it bigger than the bullet. So probe down again, Dr. Townsend. Right there. Okay. So as I go down, I put your probe there. I follow the probe down until I find the bullet. And then I pull the bullet out. Thank you very much. I have not had a class today. But he's bleeding. So I need for you to go over there, Elisha, and get that thing right up there.
He needs the blood.
He is bleeding. So we need to stop the bleeding. Oh, there you go. Perfect. It was right there. Okay, so what are we doing?
Putting pressure on the tip.
No,
Nope.
we are, this is called, no, we're not plugging the hole. We are stopping the bleeding by cooking the vessels and so when you have an egg at home and you crack it in a bowl, is it liquid or solid?
Liquid.
Okay. When you put heat to that egg, is it a liquid or a solid?
Solid.
Okay. What are eggs?
Solids.
No, proteins. What are skin? Proteins. What are blood?
Protein.
What are veins? Proteins. So when you put the heat to that, you cooked, that's right, you just need to do it once. When you do that, when you did that, you were cooking the protein that's in the veins and the arteries, and we stopped the bleeding. This is probably the only thing. What are you doing?
Is that a real knife? No, I'm gonna put it on. Don't cut my fingers off!
That's like when they show something. We just watched that show 2 weekends ago.
Robin, the side parts go at the very top?
No, they go at the bottom.
Very bottom. Okay. So this is really important. Then look at with this flat and that flat. And does it go wide or thin?
Wide.
Thin.
Good.
See, because look at you want the thin part to go with the grain.
Wait.
Can I just get it started for you a little bit? Because the last time it kind of. There you go. Now you go. There you go. See, because you want to go straight down on it, but not too fast, all right? Nice and easy.
Can I get
Almost done. Let's go ahead and do the other side now.
That one got a little bit crooked.
Split is one.
So guys, it's not always like that.
There we go.
That's better.
You can hit slow.
No, we can do.
Make
That's
sure
not bad.
okay.
You'll be fine.
So we've been working on our baskets outside of the fort. What kinds of things have we learned about in our basket making process? Mackenzie? So we have to soak our baskets. So basically, baskets have been made all throughout history, and the people make baskets with the reeds and stalks that grow near them. So the settlers would have found reeds or stalks or roots that grew in their area. And the California Indians also made baskets. What kinds of things do you think people stored in baskets? Food? Wyatt, what do you think?
some if they were tight enough water?
Tight enough, exactly. If you wove your basket tight enough, you could carry things like water or very small seeds. But you would have to be a very good basket maker, right? So when we, the California Indians also made baskets that were decorative. What do you think I mean by decorative? Luca. Fancy. And the way that they did that was that they used natural material to dye the reeds. They also decorated them with shells or rocks, and they would trade with other people in different areas. In why do you think it would be good to trade baskets with people in different areas? Why?
So that they can carry things too.
They can carry things too, but also they might have different materials. Their baskets might look different because they might have different plants available to them, right? Because you can really only use the plants and reeds that you have available that grow near you. So if you traded with people from different areas, you might get a basket that looks different. So, and if you made it fancy enough, your basket would look like art, right?
I like the way mine is.
I'm going to bend the basket with the strokes of these.
I'm all done.
So pioneers, when you see baskets that are made, especially fancy baskets, does it make you appreciate the work that they go into now that you've made one?
Yes.
You understand that it takes a lot of effort.
Now I'm gonna show you the beaver real quick, how people look. Hey, you cannot touch this, it's very fragile, but I'll let you approach you all very closely, okay? Please do not touch. This is the skull of the beaver and its teeth. Does anybody know what the beaver eats?
What? No.
Beaver eats because the sap from the wood. Beaver eats the sap from the wood. So if I want to trap a beaver, I can't put the whole entire tree in the river or the water, can I? Because it's a giant tree. I'm strong, I'm not going to carry 5 trees. So what we do is, what I did, we get the scent of other beavers. Because they're very territorial. Beavers are very, very territorial, okay? This here, I smell the smell of other beavers.
Do I want to smell it?
You don't have to, if you want to.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Want to?
Yeah.
It's very musky.
It smells like sweets and cookies and death. Yeah.
I would carry some around my neck like this. What I would do is put it on a post here into the water. Maybe even a longer post. Hammer it into the water. Put it on there all around it. Since they're very territorial, they would smell that. Correct? They come looking for it. If they're going to do that, I want to trap them. So I put a little trap in the water area around it. Also, a post here, what they call a floater stick here. Once the beaver comes, well, first of all, beavers are going to smell the other beavers, correct? When they smell it, what are they going to do? They go after it, very territorial, correct? They go after it. And when they come to look for it and they smell the area where the scent's at, what's going to happen with the trap? It's going to get them. And when it gets them, it tries to swim away, this gets knocked off and floats in the water, and guess what? I now know I have caught the beaver. Come with it. It dries out, 3 to 5 days. Right here, you fill it back in your hand, very soft and carefully. Okay, you don't have to.
Soft. It's just fur. Well, that's good. Just a good job.
At a high prime, it was about $15 each. $15 each of them. Okay? $15. 15 $7. Imagine that. And imagine a carpenter takes a whole month to make $25.
What?
One of these is $15.
Get money back then.
So I would carry about 1,500 pounds of these to trade at a time. Yes. And these are our traps. I'm not going to set one up or pass them around because they're dangerous and I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
These are traps. We have different sizes, the small ones, we have large ones. There are different sizes. Do not touch these. And when I go out, I always have on me my knife, my pack, and I also have my rifle on me all the time. You always act as if it was live and active all the time.
I can't see the rifle.
The right here. Rifle right here.
Ooh, that's big.
Yes. And beaver was doing very, very well until what came along? Silk.
John Sutter.
Silk came along. Silk came along and basically put the beaver trade almost out of complete business. Because silk was the new high fashion and everybody wanted it. Silk, silk, silk.
Silk, silk, silky.
So your nose put that down, silk came out. And then so when silk came out and the beaver trade was going down, and I was a trapper myself, I needed a career between jobs. What did I become? What I do? I know the area very well. What can I do?
You became like the guide.
A guide and or a scout, correct. We can a guide or a scout.
Okay. We can tie this to your bag. I know. Or switch it up to your bag instead of.
Yeah, mine is in my bag.
Okay. Okay, then it should be in your bag.
Not yet.
Suck it up and leave it
Never
behind.
mind that. You don't know what I'm talking about.
This same thing?
No, they're not. There's brisket, there's tri-tip, and there's chicken.
Pardon me.
We make butter and we make the bread.
They did too.
They make the butter just like
Yes.
built in it.
You take some butter or bread.
Can you walk, please?
Oh, I'm so glad you haven't.
There's in the family episode of TV like that.
Charlie. Charlie.
Food you cooked?
No. That one is rude. Doesn't really matter. I can't believe Otto Porter Jr. got traded to the Chicago Bulls. Billy, you say something I want. Billy. Wait, what you? Hey, she's not part of it. She has a mug, a real life mug. I have to go back over there. I did that for
I did this full show years ago. So much fun. Owen and I teach. I want to do it again. Now we're not in class. Okay. And good. Just every other week is.
Great space. That's mom. I apologize for eating great space. After all those pickles. Henry, this is your spot. It's always fine. Anything ever says.
Mom! Oh, the women having the same family.
It starts right here on the big dirt dance floor. Form a circle, hold in hand.
No, I'm in the middle.
One big circle, hold in hand. They call it a circle because it's round. No beginning and no end. The great thing about hands is you can wash it when you're through, and probably most of you should. Yep, back it up. You're doing great. Close the circle up, cover it up. You're doing great. Way better than normal. All right, here we go. It's an old-time game song. Children your age in these times were not allowed to dance proper dances. It was considered inappropriate. So, there were games, and those games came with music and movement. I call that a dance. So this is a game dance. What you would have danced in school is called First Lady Out the Wilderness. Here's how it works. The circle moves in a counterclockwise direction or to the right or this way. While someone is on the outside of the circle in the opposite direction. To the left or clockwise or this way. We sing a song. The song goes like this. Well, first little lady out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. First little lady out in the wilderness on the Galilee. When we sing the words on the Galilee, the circle stops dead still. The person on the outside of the circle comes under the hands and back to the center of the circle. X marks the spot. And phase 1 is complete. We move to phase 2. So, let's try it. Grab hold of hands. Well, first little lady out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. First little lady out in the wilderness on the Galilee. Circle stop. Lady goes under the circle, into the middle, hands up. And it's hands around the lady. And it's hands around the Galilee. Pick a partner for swinging, anybody you want.
Yes, it's gonna be all.
Well, let's clap your hands. Swing your partner out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. Swing your partner out in the wilderness on the Galilee. Hands up. And it's hands partners, and it's hands on the Galilee. Perfect. Ella, rejoin the circle, send your partner to the outside. Try it again. Here we go. Well, second little lady out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. Second little lady out in the wilderness on the Galilee. So stop. Lady goes under, hands up, and it's hands round the lady. And it's hands round the Galilee. All 20 to the outside of the circle. All 20 out. Here we go. People lost in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, lost in the wilderness. Look at them people out in the wilderness on the Galilee. Back under to the center of the circle. Here we go. And it's hand round a big ball, round a big ball, round a big ball. And it's hand round a big ball on the Galilee. All right, hold on. Right now, I don't care where you're standing. If you're part of the circle or in the circle, it doesn't matter. Everybody find a dancing partner. Everybody. Must have a partner. Ask someone to dance. Don't be shy. Here we go. Everybody got a partner? You need a partner, raise your hand. Find somebody with their hand there. Make them your partner. Look around. Partners. Find a partner. This poor little thing, look at her. She wants to dance, she needs a partner. Come on. Here we go. Swing your partner out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. Swing your partner out in the wilderness, on the Galilee. Well, swing your partner out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness, out in the wilderness. Swing your partner out in the wilderness, on the Galilee. And it's hands all around the show, all around the show. Good work. I only do that one to get to this next one. Find a partner for John Kanaka, 2 lions. You ready? I'm looking around right now and I don't see the level of confidence I'd hoped for, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go slow for the first 25 verses, but after that we're speeding up regular speed. You ready? Right arm. I heard the old man say, John! May I pause right here and say what wonderful dancers you all are. You're doing a great job. Left arm. Today is a holiday. Jump. Kentucky, 2 lions. It's 2 lions. Oh, 2 lions. Jump. Kentucky, 2 lions. It's 2 lions. Oh, 2 lions. Jump. Kentucky, 2 lions. You got it! Here we go! I heard the boatman say, Jump! Kentucky, 2 lions. We sail on tomorrow, scrub next today. Jump! Kentucky, 2 lions. It's 2 lions. Oh, 2 lions. Jump! Kentucky, 2 lions. It's 2 lions. Oh, 2 lions. Jump! Kentucky, 2 lions. Well, now you're just making it look easy, so let's spice it up a little bit. Everybody, turn to dance with the person standing next to you. Find a new partner. July, it's July,
Ho, boys, ho, through California, there's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento. Then ho, boys, ho, through California, there's plenty of gold, so I've been told, on the banks of the Sacramento.
Edit the part that makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.